Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Roy here, your host. Welcome to Market Mornings with Robert Roy, brought to you by WBHQ.com. Hope you all having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you would please type the number 1 in the chat box. 1 for yes, 2 for no would be greatly helpful if you could do that for us. We got a little bit of noise going on out there. I may have to shut that window. They're still doing construction out there. All right. Perfect. Good. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Keep in mind that everything we discuss here today is for educational purposes only. Nothing is meant to be advice or recommendations. All right. Make sure that if you're not already doing so, folks, follow along. If you like what you see here, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications of everything that we're doing. And there are the other ways that you can keep in touch with us. We use each platform just a little bit differently. We publish different things to each platform. So you want to make sure that you are checking out each and every one of those. Our biggest ones for us are here, YouTube, right? Then we've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Our blog and our podcast is every week. So there's a couple of podcasts and blogs every single week. So make sure you're keeping in touch with the various components with us. All right, let's go see what we can see. I want to start off with the futures markets and see what's happening there. All right, so let's go and look at the ES first. Ooh, TradeStation is being slow today. So, big moves yesterday, right? So if we look, let's grab a pen. 5 p.m. close last night. 6 p.m. open last night. We went sideways and then a nice drop. Quick little bounce up, and then we dropped off. And here's our overnight session now, right? And we get down into the pre-market of Europe. And from there, we just came out into a channel, basically, right? And then what happened? If we look, let's see, where's our 830 candle? Here's 835. So that's our first candle. That's 830 to 835 is that 5-minute candle. That's where the unemployment reports came out. They were good. Our numbers were lower as far as the number of people that were reporting first-time unemployment. We had less people claim again for unemployment, so that was down. Although, keep in mind, unemployment does not account for those that fall off the rolls. In other words, you hit your end. You haven't found a job yet, but there's no more unemployment benefits for you, so you just kind of fall off. It doesn't take that into account. But right now, on the S&P, we're down 11 points, right, on the day. So we had a nice little pop up to that 45.22 level. We're at 45.17, so it's an additional 5. So we gave half of the pullback that we've got, that 11 points. Half of it came in the last 20 minutes or so. All right, so from there, if we look, we've got the YM, which is the second chart over. I'm not going to open it. It just seems that TradeStation wants to fight me right now. But YM, which is the Dow, is down 92 points. NASDAQ, third one from the left, on the top row, is down 40.5 points on the NQ. Right, Bitcoin at 65,000 right now, which is bottom left. Right, we were well above 66,000. Let me pop that one open. We were well above 66,000 earlier on Bitcoin. So we were just about 67. We hit 67 yesterday, and we ran back up to it, pulled back. So overall, Bitcoin doing just fine. Right, when it comes to gold, gold's been in a bit of a chop, as has crude and gas, right? And nat gas. So every one of them taking a little bit of a toll on them. All right. So let me go back over to our candidates and let's see what we got going on here today. So S&P, we already talked about S&P 500, right? Where we're down, which is the ES, where we're down. The SPX shows as a index, so it doesn't show opening until our regular hours, which are at 9:30 a.m. All right, so from here, we've got this broken up in 2 different ways, guys. And I want you to take note of this as we go forward. Here today, going forward, I may not ever get to every candidate. I always want to make sure that I've got plenty of stuff to talk about. We're only a 20-minute show here on our weekdays. This morning show is only 20 minutes long. So I've got a lot to get through in a very small amount of time, but I still always want to make sure that everything I find, because guess what? All the work that I've just done, this is for me, right? I'm going to utilize all of this. We're done at 9:20. At 9:30, I'll be looking at every one of these candidates as potential trade setups, plus everything I've got on my regular pop power option plays list as well. But we've got the pop 5K, so we've got 6 candidates in there today under pop 5K. We've got the Reddit stocks. There's one covered call or diagonal. I'm always looking for iron condos. I want that as a constant reminder. And these are the newsy type stocks. The ones that are, there's a space in between. The ones that are on the top half of the movers and shakers, they are all weekly optionable stocks. The ones that are on the lower half only have monthlies. So I'll trade them if I have to, but I would much rather trade what's going on the upper part, right? And I'll try at the very end to ask you guys. We could check out maybe 2 or 3 of your candidates of the ones you want to look at for today, all right? And we can analyze some of those. But let's go look at the movers and shakers. So alphabetical order, nothing, no particular modality to it, right? I want to go ahead and let's change this over, get the intraday data. I had it, but as soon as you click on SPX, TradeStation reverts it back to the regular data. It doesn't just ignore it. So we want to look at 24-hour sessions. Okay, so on BX, they had earnings come out on BX. Okay, so what's happening with them? They closed up about 128.5. They're right now 131, call it 132 right now. I will be looking at a bull put spread on BX. So keep your eye on this one. I like it a lot. This is the best quarter they've ever had, all right, for them. From here, let's go take a look at, I've got them here, so I'm just going to jump in. Tesla. So Tesla had an announcement of their earnings. The revenues were good. All that was good, but some other numbers were off. So Tesla's down right now about $10.50 in the pre-market. So the very first question y'all are going to have or should have is, how does Tesla tend to do on its gaps, right? And I will tell you this. If this is its gap, if this is where it opens up, where it is right now, we've got 25 minutes till the market opens. If it opens right where it is now, $10.50 down, we're looking at as far as 100% gap fill, we don't have it. It's not there. As far as a half gap fill, which means if we gap $10 down, the ability to move up $5, that's a 76% chance of that gap filling in that today. So that is tremendous. Now, there's not a lot of gaps in this price range, this $10 price range. There are 17 in here, but 76% chance that gap today will fill half the gap. All right. So am I telling you to trade the gap? I'm telling you the statistics. We've got to see what happens when it opens, and then we'll make the decision: do we trade it or not? Right. But I do like it. All right. You got DHR is another one. That's on our list. Now, they've been all over the place. There's earnings, right? They closed up at, I don't know, let's call it 315. They ran up here to 321. They dropped down here to 300, and now they're sitting at 308. They're a little whipsaw-y for me, right? A little bit of too much whipsaw for my taste, for my liking. So for me, I'm going to back away from it, but based on what it's doing now, if I see that we pick direction and we start to make a specific move in the morning off of key support and or resistance, fib lines, then yes, I may consider it. And the way I would consider it would be either a bull put or a bear call spread. That's exactly what I'd be looking to do, right? So earnings candidate. Itty bitty machine, IBM. Or if you work for IBM, it could stand for IBM. I've been moved. Let's see. If you don't know what that is, you haven't worked for IBM. If you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. 142, it closed up, just straight down, and it just went sideways. So from 142 down to 135, great move down. I'm going to be looking at a bear call spread on IBM. It's tough to look at the analysis now of the option chain and say which ones. It doesn't work as simply as that. If I go over to IBM and say, all right, where were we right now? We'll call it 135. So right now we're at 135 on IBM, right? Which means we're just above this fib line. So look at the move we've made. We went 1, 2, 3 standard deviations. We stopped, go figure, at a fib line. Why? Because I drew it there? Of course it's why. No, of course, it's not. Right? So for me, if I could get something above that 140 level, I would be very excited because that still gives me a 2 standard deviation move against me to get caught, to be safe. If not, maybe the 137.5, I'd be okay with it. Maybe a B. If you gave it an ABC for the trade, A would be get above that 140. B would be a bear call spread above that 137.5 level. So maybe 137.5, 140 would be what I'm looking for, unless IBM has weeklies on, not weeklies, but $1 increments on it. I haven't traded IBM in forever. So here's IBM. They do have dollar increments, so you can play around with the numbers a little bit. Yeah, we'd be good. We'd be very good. Okay. Just going to keep it open on a different screen so I'm able to bring it in very easily as we need it, right? And if you guys have questions, if you have comments, thoughts, drop it in. Don't wait for me to say it. Let's make this a conversation, folks. This should not be just listen to Rob talk for 20 minutes. This should be, trying to help you guys out as what the next move is for today, right? So from here, let's bring this one down a bit and go back to our list. You got Crocs, DGX, and THC. All of them were earnings candidates, all three of them, but none of them have weekly options on them. So that is, I don't want to say a concern, but it's a concern, right? It's a consideration. How about that? I like that word better, consideration. So we closed up yesterday, give or take, about 136 or at 151 right now. What a great move on Crocs, right? Again, they were on earnings. I'll be looking at a bear call, a bull put spread on Crocs. Then we had DGX. Was another one. See, same thing. Look at DGX. Last night we closed, we gap up on the earnings, and we pull back. So someone continued to read the report and went, "Ooh, look what they tried to hide in here." Or, "Wait a second, I didn't realize that they were taking a loss on this." Or, "Oh, wait, they're counting this as profit." Something in there didn't set well with investors. But for me, now the thought is, do I really want to take the trade? The gap fill is almost gone. So there's really not a whole lot there for me. So DGX, when I put it on my list, yeah, it was something that had potential to it. But when I look at it now, you saw the candle. We almost saw the gap. So it's almost opening flat right now at this point, right? So for me, it's probably more of it's back away a little bit. THC. No, not TLC, THC. No, not that kind of THC, right? Tenet Healthcare. They closed up about 66. They're sitting right now at almost 70 right now. See, I have no problem. Look, here's the difference. Right? When you look at these pullbacks and what's happened and so forth. So great thrusting move up last night. We gave some back. I'm okay with that. When you look at this here and this here, that's about 618% of the pullback. Then you got these two hash marks at the bottom. Late in the game, you got these lines down there. Those were very late orders, small volume. Not a lot of movement. Probably someone that just said, "Yeah, I really want to get it. Let me just get it at X." And they put an order out there, buy, sell, whatever it was. And it's got to be at a limit price. It can't be market price, not in the post-market or pre-market. So they went ahead, messed around with it, and picked up the positions or sold their position off, whatever it was. Right? Great. Now we gap right back up from there. See, I'm not worried about that at all. When you have candle up, candle up, candle up, boom, 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 that's a whole different story. Not these little hash marks. That's just a one-off of somebody placing a trade, right? So I do like this, and we'll be looking at it as a potential bull put spread, and even to the point of a diagonal. Let's see if there's no diagonal. No, because it is too long. I'm going to have to be in that trade. So I would be looking at a credit spread. Bull put spread would be my choice on THC. All right. Perfect. So let's go ahead and minimize this. All right. So now let's go look at a couple of stocks off of my Pop 5K list. Right. And actually, I'm not even going to worry about where they are right now. Let's just go into Omega charts and look here. Omega charts will give us all the insight that we need as to what we want to consider on our positions here, right? So here you got American Express, AXP, right? Let me see. I'll zoom in as much as I can here. Let me do this. I'll make sure you get to see the entire fib that's in there. So you can see right now the 382 is where we're at, right? I'll come and bring it back in, nice tight zoom. So if we can get above the 8 moving average, which right now is 142.25, if we can get above the 142 average, moving average, 142.25, I'm looking at a potential bullish entry on IBM. Wait, this is IBM. Why did it not change? Sorry about that. There we go. American Express. Let's do that again. You guys can tell me if we're on a different symbol. If I'm not hitting what we're supposed to be on, make sure you let me know. So here's American Express. Okay. So we pushed above that 179.37, which is the negative 136 Fibit line, right? Small move to the upside and a retest of that 179.37 level and a bounce is my potential entry in. We had American Express, by the way. If you caught it, we had them on our list yesterday as one of our trades, right? It was one of the candidates on my list yesterday, right? So it made a nice move. Let's see if we can get that continuation picking up today. It's only a day trade is all I'm looking for it as, right? COF. All right, so you can see the entire fib. Same pattern on COF. We got above that fib line, that 172.81 level. Here's what we need to do, though. Do we need a fibit in here? A fibit is a way that we decide if the next resistance and or support, in this case resistance, is too far away. If it is, we've got to add an additional resistance level in there. It's all based on facts. So if you look at RR fibit right here, it shows 893. We're going to round it to 9. Right? I don't need to work with pennies here. We're going to round it to 9. So the question is the distance between my two fib lines, whatever two fib lines I'm working off of, 173 and 180, is that greater than that number there? And the answer is no. Well, if it was, I would need to split this level in half. Since it's not, I don't, so we're good. Retest to 173, 80 and a half is 180 and a half is our resistance level on COF. Okay. Mu, they were on our list yesterday also. Now, they had bad news with their earnings the way it came out, right? Chip maker, blah, 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 right? On semis. And where did we close? We pushed up right by that 8 moving average. We've got a confluence of our negative 382 fib line. You see right here, bottom left. We've got a confluence over there. Let's unscrunch. There we go. If I can get a failure here, I'm looking at that 64 to 68. So look at the difference in here. We'll call it 64 to 68 and a half. That's 4.5. My number up here is 3.5. So I need to split this level in half. Right? So I need to add in here a negative 5. All right. Ooh, look at that. When we add it, look where we've been. On more than one occasion, we've been here. We came down 1, 2, 3 days in the last 7 or 8 that we've been down at that 66.21 level. So if you get the rollover, 66.25 is where we're looking for it to go. And I would not necessarily exit my entire trade there. I would exit half of the trade at that point, and then you're looking at just above that 63.80. However you set your stops, but just above that 63.80. All right, let's see where we got here. We got 1 more minute. All right, I see Peloton in there. Tetris fire, so I will take a look at that. On Nucor, give me a retest of the 103.41 to bounce, and I'm all about it. Oh, wait a second. What do we got here? Nope, be careful with earnings. I didn't realize they were that close. So I'm going to uncheck that. PepsiCo, retest on that 160.51, which was the negative 136. Retest to 160 and a half, 162 and a half is our resistance. And then you got Riot, RIOT, retest at 30.33 and a bounce. And we're looking at that 36.25 as our next one. All right. Yep. PLTR. Got it. Guys, if there's symbols you want me to take a look at, drop them in real quick. All right. PLTR. Let's go look and do a full analysis here. Unscrunch, please. All right, so here's my issue with PLTR. When we look, You can see the entire Fibonacci right there. It's a good fib. The fib is still valid. Nothing to change there. When you look at where we are right now, right, between the 8 moving average pink line, the green moving average 21 line, the 55 moving average brown line, between those three, there's a lot of congestion. And where is it? Where is it taking place? It's right in the middle of these two fib lines. So I don't have a lot of wiggle room in there for a trade setup. So if you are trying to take it, I mean, overall, the bigger picture pattern, overall, we're kind of sideways. So, you know, the fib line was the fib pattern was bullish. So when you look at the moving averages, it's not really giving us much. They're bearish. So I'd be looking at a stronger potential to that 23.34 level than I would to the 25.74. But there's just not a lot of wiggle room on it. So I would be cautious with it for sure. Sure, Kevin, let's look at BEKE. Test for fire. I hope that was helpful. So did it hit its ceiling at 25 is what Kevin's asking here. All right, I need a bigger picture. Oh, I want a much bigger picture. Okay, so this is a newer position, started off about a year ago, August of last year, so 14 months. They've got earnings coming up shortly, right? If we, let's see, 76, nope, going the wrong way. Let's go over to a template with no moving averages on it. All right, let's draw fib. You know, we got a lot of little stair steps in there, but that right there took us, that one works. It took us to the 236. Let's start stepping back in at 5. Okay. Let's go back to template 2 with our moving averages on it. All right. So 21.5, 28.5. We need to split these levels in half. So let's put some fibbits in there. Come on. Get on the line. We're going to add some fibbits in there. We need both sides, which is a negative 136 and a 118. And guys, if you want to learn more about what we do with the fibbits and all of that stuff, we do a free training every week, an hour long, called Power Hour. It's every Monday at 12 Eastern. We'll leave a link down in the description below for you. All right. So run out of steam. I like the breakout. I mean, this is the highest, Kevin, that it has been in a while. I mean, I like it. Now, earnings, they're far enough away from me. As long as they are east of, you know, right side of the blue bar that I have there, I'm okay. They are, right? So we're looking at 25.16 as your next resistance. In there, my stop would be somewhere under that 21.5. But that's what I'd be looking at for it. All right? All right, folks. Fantastic. Hey, listen, guys, there's plenty of free resources that we have available for you here. Where I got it. So there's a website that we have. It's called Trading Like a Boss. Trading Like a Boss. Guys, on here, you've got Trade with Rob, which is a free video series that we do 1 or 2 times a week where we pick one trade out for a very specific setup. We've got a 90+% win rate on those since May of this year is when we started sharing those. And then you've got Power Hour and anything that's changing or new for you guys, you're going to find them here. So check this out. Sean, can you drop this in the chat box there? I don't think I have the ability to do that. But go check it out, guys, and you know, see what you got there. Pick up some of these free things that we've got to offer. And there you go. Sean dropped that in. I appreciate it. Jen, I think that was you as well. Thank you very much. Wonderful. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Make it a profitable one. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. Take care, everybody. I will see you at our next one. Good luck trading today. Bye for now.